Okay. Hi. Hi じゃない。Hey guys, how's it going? It's Miyoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. I'm live from Fukuoka Prefecture, Japan. How are you guys doing? I hate. Look at this tooth. I want to change it. I wonder if it changes according to the background. First, yay! Thanks for coming. How are you? I'm late again. Well, I hope you are doing well. Visual. Can I change it so that maybe it doesn't see like it's not? Maybe I should. Which one do you like? Still, it does that. This one still does that. Is my like my teeth maybe green or something? I don't know. I'm like changing while live streaming. That's weird, I know. Let's go with that. Hey Yoko, hello. How are you? Hi Yoko, how are you? Just about to go to sleep. Oh no, you gotta stay and give me super chat. Man, your teeth are fine, Yoko. No, it makes it black for some reason. Why? Maybe I need more like massive light. I don't know. Anyway, so dude, before I came here, I went on X and I saw that Lindsey Graham has passed away. I don't really know about him. I'm like familiar with his name, but I don't actually know about him much. But first of all, I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope that he rests in peace. Blue is my favorite color. Yay! Thank you. Hi from Sweden. Hello. Thanks for coming, and thank you so much for your super chat. As always, thank you. I have to look into that. Yeah, it was sudden though, it seems. Yeah, if you have information, let me know. But I mean, first of all, I need to know where he stands politically. I don't remember, like, I know his name, but I don't remember in which context I was hearing his name. Yeah. But yeah, let me look it up. There was like, yeah. I wish I had like, I don't know. You guys probably can search better than me. Howdy, Yoko. Howdy. How? Rest in peace. Yeah. Hey, from Oceanside, California. Yay! Thanks for coming. He was a conservative. Oh no. Warhawk. Ah, so maybe I like him. Ahoy, beautiful people. Hello. Thanks for coming. Graham was a pain in Trump's side, voted against too many things Trump wanted passed. Ah, so different types, like not MAGA type, but like a neocon type. He did many good things for the US and other nations. Oh. He's a US Senator from South Carolina. He is a wall hawk and pushed for funding for Ukraine and supported the Shah movement in Iran. What is that? Shah movement ってなんだろう？イランの運動。To shift back to the old system. Yeah, but anyway, Does that mean though, like to speak politically, is there gonna be an election? Like, of course, you guys will mourn first, but I wonder what it means, because I'm always thinking about, as I put in the title, I'm always thinking about CCP China, because today, right now, we are in the middle of this global war. Like, it's not the direct World War III, but it's pretty much like that. Like China is expanding, and recently they had this SLBM launch, and to show where they stand militarily. To It was on the east side of Taiwan, which should be the safe zone for Taiwan. When they want to evacuate to Japan, for example, that's where the sea zone that they are going to use, and then they just launched a missile there, and then it was long enough to cover the length of Guam, for example, and it is a message for the U.S. too, that and it could reach Hawaii too, I guess. And there are many messages included, and they did that in the international space, like a public space, while they usually test uh, toward their own land, but instead they showed it to the sea, in the sea. So yeah, the king, yeah, the king in the Irani before the Islamic communists revolted in 1979. Yeah. He did some bad stuff, but much more good, in my opinion. He supported what the Iranian people want, which is to have a constitutional monarchy. Uh, like, in this like very tense world today, uh, the loss, like, of him is big, I think, especially for example, according to you guys, it's like he had a lot to do with Ukraine and Iran, and I bet that people from those nations basically lost one route. So that's a big shock, politically and mentally. Hmm. Appointed by the governor. South Carolina will have to have a special election in August to replace him, as he had just won his primary election. Yeah. Future Yoko. Looking cool, right? Sudden illness, yeah. It happens, though. We are all humans. Like, we forget that, we're just, by miracle, we're alive each day. We go to sleep and expect to wake up the next day, and acts like it's nothing, but it is something. We are surviving. According to Google, Senator Lindsey Graham voted with President Trump's stated position roughly 86% of the time. Ooh, cool. Promise when the Islamic regime is taken from power in Iran. Yeah, China is really dangerous. CCP China started to use this term, the new militarism, when referring to Japan. But look at China today. I showed you the graph before, or the table. I don't know what to call it. I wonder if I can find it quickly. Let's see. I used that thing in my video too before. China's changes in China's announced defense budget. Oh wait. First of all, I gotta put this one, and then can you see? Oh, it's reflecting a lot. But you see, China's military budget skyrocketing. And you can't really see because it's in green, but Japan is really tiny. It's actually in yellow. But uh, Japan is super small here, the size. And China's military budget is like skyrocketing, like literally. It's crazy, right? And then they say like, oh, Japan is militaristic, oh, Japan did this and that in the past, and they actually lie about it. For example, they often talk about so-called the Nanking or Nanjing massacre, and the number of victims keeps increasing. Like, how did you get rid of the bodies then? It's so crazy. But yeah, there were no Photoshop back then, but it was easy to cut out some pictures from a movie film, or get put together some film to create one picture and so on. And also they just inked out somebody and made the people look like they are only head and so on. And people are stupid enough to believe that those pictures were real. And in war, though, of course, like, things happen, the tragedies happen, but they just are believing CCP's narrative, and they don't even mention what they did to Japanese people. Japanese people were massacred by the Chinese, and I have a feeling that they took the impression and so on from what they did by their own to Japanese people, stabbing the Japanese pregnant women with a sword and so on. um yeah. And since Japanese people are not good at English, our information isn't translated, so it's only like a small amount of researchers know about what really happened and so on. Yeah. And then whenever I talk about China's militarism, by the way, as I said, like, Chinese people bring up like stuff like, oh, my grandpa or grandma was killed by Japanese soldiers and blah blah blah. You guys are horrible, atrocious, blah blah blah. But I'm like, my grandpa's little brother, for example, was actually killed by the U.S. soldier or U.S. I don't know, aircraft. I guess he was the head of the. He was carrying like our soldiers' goods, or foods and so on, like what's that word? Let me look it up. I don't know how to say that in English. Transport ship. So he was in charge of the ship, and he got attacked because that was actually around Taiwan, where Bashi Strait, where a lot of ships sank. And my grandpa's, like, my great uncle is actually there. And I need to visit there one day. But yeah, that happened. And he was killed by the US. But so it was a wartime, and Japanese side killed Americans, American side killed Japanese people. And so like, we learned from what happened, and we are coming together, and we are realizing what the true problem is, which is communism. And we're working together. And I personally am pointing out the problems of CCP. And when I say that, they're like, hey, Japanese people killed my ancestors. I'm like, we are killing each other. We are the offspring of all the past. And they're basically thinking that because, like, they believe, I don't even know if it's true, they might be just saying it. So it's like Chinese people, like CCP type of people, always lie, so I can't even tell. Speaking of which, by the way, you're gonna laugh about this. Today's newspaper, Chinese research paper. What's the I don't actually know how to say this in English. Fraud. how would you say that? Just fraud, I guess. In research paper in China because they lie. Okay. Unnatural data, AI generating, printed. I can't trust CCP people, okay? So they bash like, oh, Japan's militarism, blah, blah, blah. And they don't, as I said, they don't talk about our side and they don't own up to it. And they also, you know, they are talking about the past, like, oh, World War II, like nearly a century ago, you know, and we are different people, you know, same nation, and we haven't really changed, but like it's a long time ago. Like, what do you want us to do, right? And we are trying to work toward peace, and they always bash us from the about the past. So then I ask them about what CCP is doing to countries like Tibet, Uyghur, or I mean, or you may know by East Turkestan, or southern Mongolia, Hong Kong, and now they're coming onto Taiwan and Japan. What are they doing? You know, and they never talk about that. They think that they have the reason, the right reason to colonize those countries. I hope they get smarter because Chinese people are not, it's not like they're stupid, right? It's the leadership that is wrong. And so now, by the way, because they say that, especially one of the genres that the papers are written with fraud in China from like Chinese researchers is like medicines. But then Chinese medicines are exported to the world. So it's gonna be a big, it would affect the exports and so on, it seems. But it's interesting that though, the reason why they started to focus on this is because there's some guy who started to point things out. You know, the data always end with number 5, or you know, and the Chinese AI generating service is obviously used and so on. So what a courageous person. Yeah. And then China is by far they're manipulating the most here. You guys are actually the next. But it says China is like, how many? 70,000? Yeah. 1,700,000. Yeah. 70,000 paper. Yeah. And then America, though, it's like 30,000. So it's by far China is doing that. Yeah. Aircraft? No, vessel in the oceans. Marxism is an absolute evil. Yes. Mao killed the most Chinese of all. Yeah, the Chinese worship him. Go figure. Good point. That's a very simple thing. They admire him, right? And Xi Jinping wants to actually surpass him. So whenever he has a chance, he tries to compare himself or like put himself next to him, even though Mao is really like worshipped. Yeah, it's like they're contradicting in many ways. So I hope that at least people would notice. But then even if they notice, it's their surveillance is crazy. So their budget for surveillance is the cost is bigger than their for the one for military. So yeah, CCP is behind all the destabilization in the US. They are behind Soros and Democratic Socialist Movement in the Democratic Party. I wouldn't think about Soros and so on. And Democrats are just Democrats, in my opinion, because I work with Democrats too, regarding about CCP issues. And however, the division in the US is always agitated by I mean, most of the time it's by the CCP, and you might see like African accounts and so on. For example, like recently, giving hatred to the US or trying to divide, the US as a country and so on. But I bet that they're like bought, like they are they're getting money from CCP. I bet. Fraudulent paper. It's a new word. I started to write down English words again yesterday, just yesterday. I'm gonna try and, memorize English words again, like when I used to when I was a teenager. Fraudulent. Ooh, cool. Thank you. New vocab. Yeah, 80 years ago, yes. Communism and fascism are both alike on the principle of abolition of private property. Good point. My political affiliation on X is anti-communist. I haven't been checking X much recently. The algorithm today doesn't match me. You can't trust the Chinese government for building houses in other countries because they use cheap material. Oh yeah, that's true too. And like whenever they say like, "Oh, I'm gonna use your port," for a while, don't listen to them because they're gonna take that away from you. Or that like you can't ever, make them pay for you in advance and so on, or let them build stuff because they might throw it away all of a sudden. Hmm. You work with anti-CCP Democrats. Is there such a thing? Yeah, like all the human rights activists, my main focus is China and Russia, right? The human rights activities, because they are oppressing people in their own country and also the neighboring countries. And as for for example, like China right now is colonizing Tibet, Uyghur, Southern Mongolia, and Hong Kong. And when I work internationally, all the support groups are actually run by Democrat kind of people. Like they're mainly leftists, because you must be leftist to care about the world, right? Like you don't want to, like, you conservative people don't want to meddle into other countries. You don't really, like, it's their problem for you probably. And you don't want to really engage because you have a lot to do inside your country and so on. But yeah, leftists though, and especially like Democrats, they believe that if the world becomes democratic, then all the issues will be gone, right? And that's how they want to change the regime in each country. And even Chinese people, I'm friends with Chinese people in my country, some of them who work as activists. And I would say that I would call them like Democrats because they want democracy in China. They don't like the communist regime, they are proud Chinese, but they don't like dictatorship and they don't like CCP-led regime. So, yeah. And what's great about leftists though, like it's actually easy for them to work. I can see that because it's easy to work with them than conservatives, for example, here in my country, because it's the ironic part of the world that leftists are usually elites, right? And then they have a lot of connections still. So like you can easily get to know like powerful people who are connected to all the other powerful people, and then they have access to easy exposure to on the media and so on. So whatever you do, like activities and so on, it can be easily shared and so on. Conservatives, however, they are busy working and they don't know how to get fund from the government and so on. They're rather against such ideas. They believe that they need to work hard, and with the extra money that you earn, you can work on activities, right? That's the kind of thing. And yeah. And also, I don't know, people can be very stubborn among the conservative what's the word, community. Yeah, but anyway. Yep. So when I went to, for example, Tibet, I told you before, but not Tibet. Tibetan government in exile is in India. This place is called Dharamsala in India, and there were like about 200 people from the entire world, like Tibetan supporters, got together. My husband and I were one of the, two of the people there, and except us, there were just liberals. So like, it was really like they were good people, but like our values were a little different, so it was kind of hard. The reason why I work, by the way, against CCP's expansion and the colonization, and today I work against Russia's expansion and colonialism too. The reason why is because I don't want them to come out to Japan. I want to protect my country. And as for China, for example, like Tibet and East Turkestan, they're on the other side of China. Like China is facing us, but they're facing the other side too, like for the European side, right? And the border is there. So if they have problems there, they have to work, focus there. So they don't have the capacity to come out to the Pacific side, right? So that's important to make Tibet and East Turkestan independent, together with Mongolia, Southern Mongolia, and Hong Kong too. More the merrier. If people want to get independent, we should let them do that, because I want my country to keep being independent too. Oh, super chat! Thank you, super chat for Yoko! Yay! Thank you so much. Yes. こんにちは、Yoko. こんにちは. You want to protect your country, a very noble and good thing to do. Thank you. Nice to hear a perspective. American right wings care about the world too. That's why we're bombing in the snot out of Iran. I know. It's America is basically taking the blame for everything. We'll be all happy if Iran stopped developing nuclear weapons, right? Like, we will be exposed to the threats too. And America is doing their best to stop them and negotiating with them. It's something that we would, like, none of us want to do that, but America is taking the leadership, and we're so thankful, Yeah. Updates. Senator Lindsey Graham, he died at 71 as of now. Liberals and the Tucker Carlson crowd are celebrating it. Oh no. I guess you can have like discussion. Oh, cute bird. I guess you can have discussions, but at least in my country, you don't do that until like after a while, because the person has just died, and we're supposed to mourn for the loss, right? So that's so American, I guess. for those that sort of right-wing people to celebrate. Do those leftists know any Koreans? Koreans are not very active in at least as far as I can tell, like, the activities that I do about China and Russia. I know a lot of groups in the world, but I don't meet Koreans much. But I do meet them when I, for example, go to CPAC in Japan. They always come. Um, and so they're more about Christianity, I guess, because many of them are Christian and they work better with Americans. So, and then also, I guess for geographic reasons, I guess it would be better for conservative people in Korea to just work with the big country America rather than, talking to other smaller nations and so on. Hello, hello. Will Southern Mongolia be independent or unified with Outer Mongolia? That's a good question. 南モンゴルは南モンゴルとして独立したい？それともモンゴル国と一緒になりたい？考え方は多分いろいろある。It's probably not like people probably believe in different scenarios, even among the Mongolian circle, because we haven't reached that level yet. 南モンゴルね。一緒になりたいと思ってる。そうだね。あそこで、人口が違う。南の方が多いんだよね。So if you think about the Southern Mongolians, Southern Mongolians probably want to be together with the independent country Mongolia today. But Mongolia, the independent country, might not like it because if you think about the population, there are more Southern Mongolians than the independent Mongolians. So, like, if they got together, the independent Mongolians would be the minority in the what's the word? Demographic. but what I feel when I talk to Mongolian people is that they have the identity as Mongolians, that whether there are Mongolians oppressed by Russia as well, like Buryat Mongolia and so on too. But they have the identity as a Mongolian, and they want to be whole, in the world, like Mongolian race coming together is their dream. So at this stage, realistically speaking, the situation in Southern Mongolia is that 80% of the population are now Han Chinese, so Chinese people are the majority today in Southern Mongolia. So the Southern Mongolians in Southern Mongolia today, they need to kick out all the Chinese people first and then get independent, or else, like, if they get independent today and have, for example, a democratic election or something, they would lose. So first of all, they gotta fight within. Here. Super chat, Nick, thank you so much. You are so nice reading all my comments. I'll also point out if wanting a Yoko Gundam is wrong, I'm gonna be right. You don't want to mess with me because I'll just come in Yoko Gundam gear. There's one waiting for me at Lalaport, Fukuoka. Thank you for your super chat. Yes, the more super chat I get, the more energetic I get. And more talkative I will get because I will be happy. I did not know Mongolians were oppressed by Russian. I learned in sad new thing. Oh yeah. I actually learned that recently too, like a few years ago. There's this international forum called Post Russia Free Nations of Post-Russia Forum, and it's run by this Ukrainian guy. And Ukraine right now is, of course, being invaded by Russia, but there are there are nation states inside Russia that are already colonized by Russia. So Ukraine, of course, got independent, but other countries couldn't in the past, and they were still colonized by Russia. And as for Mongolians, what's interesting is that when you look at the world history, what is the biggest nation in history? It's Mongolia, the Mongolian Empire. So what it means is that if you just picture the world map, and the Mongolian Empire, it's so massive, right? And what's crazy is that the country was so big that even after the regime changed and so on, there are some people, there were people living in all the throughout the land, right? So what happens is that not everybody left where they were, and there are offsprings of the people there, and so yeah, they're still living there, and then they got borders in between, so they end up, the end result is that they're like, scattered around, but originally it's not really that they were one nation. So yeah, it's crazy though, because Mongolians are actually very scary when they get mad. They're really strong people, you don't want to mess with them. But somehow, like Chinese, like CCP type of people are really atrocious, so even they couldn't protect their country. So we gotta do something about it. But whenever Putin, by the way, brings up history, he likes to Putin loves to give a historical lecture. Even Tucker Carlson had to listen to it. But the thing is that Putin is like, oh, respect, history. Ukraine belongs to Russia, he thinks. But then if you look at the history, then Russia belongs to Mongolia. So, yeah. Islamic Republic of Japan. I heard about that. That Trump mentioned stuff like that. Funny. Hey y'all, hello. Thanks for coming. I like your avatar or icon. It's cute. Iran also giving China cheap oil. I wonder what's the best way to stop this vicious cycle, because would you wanna we are fighting, like there are many fronts, Venezuela was kind of taken care of, but then you guys are thinking about Cuba and also Iran and Russia. You're dealing with that already, and China too. You gotta fight economically, and there are many things going on, but and they're connected on the other side. The authoritarian regimes are working together. So where do you get rid of first? Oh, super chat! Thank you so much, Brad. Any theories about Lizzie Graham? Yeah. I don't know. Is there gonna be like a conspiracy theory about him? Maybe people would talk about Iranian pressure or something. Oh, by the way, Trump mentioned like assassination, like a possible assassination about him, right? Was it here? I don't know where I read it, but Trump senpai. Can you see his face? Trump senpai is there talking about the negotiation and what they're doing right now. Oh man, it's so crazy. Like whenever I look at this, like America and Iran's negotiation, I don't know how like Iran can be this like arrogant because my country has fought America. We know how strong America is and how horrible the war can be, when America is really mad, right? So under Trump, I feel like they are just underestimating America. But, it's true though that America has many war fronts right now that they keep using missiles too, and it is affecting, all the basically the weapons in the U.S. But for example, this is interesting because you see Zelensky here. Yeah, it's about Patriot missiles, and basically talking about now Japan gets the license from America and we can make Patriot missiles. And now Zelensky is saying that, Trump now allows Ukraine to produce the missiles in Ukraine as well. And then Zelensky is hoping that our Japanese Mitsubishi company will work with them because we know we have technology and so on. So that's great though, right? Like I think we are starting to learn and also form this good system to work together because we live in this materialistic world that when you launch missiles, you need more, but you need to produce more. But yeah. Oh, this was interesting. The South Korean SK, the company. I didn't know about this company, but they are now big now. Nasdaq. Nasdaq picture. Cool. And then they are talking about AI. It's so interesting that I told you many times before, but today we are shifting into the new phase of the world or the new generation, with the AI. And the newspaper is full of AI. And here too, AI. You see a lot of AI related articles. And it's so interesting. But AI with allies, cooperation rapidly increasing, and then getting rid of the dependent on America and China. New market attained, it says. So it's basically talking about how Japan is doing. With developed countries, Japan is working with the UK. We have a high-level dialogue. We established that. With France, we are sharing information about national security, using AI. And Indo, Malaysia, and Brazil too, we are working closely. So that's good. And this one is about OpenAI. It says OpenAI. So OpenAI people got information illegally, it seems. But they launched a new service, right? The speaking one. I need to try that. He was a big Ukraine supporter. I gotta ask my Ukrainian friends about what they think about that. Laura Luma on X is bringing up conspiracy theory that either Russia or IRGC did something. He just got back from Ukraine and a meeting with Zelensky recently. Interesting. Laura Loomer is Laura Loomer. The Trump's close aide, right? The woman, the young woman. Ah, I wonder if she's telling the truth, but then she wouldn't say things with confidence without some kind of information backing that up. But I don't know. I have no idea. He's old though, so it's hard to know. But I mean, in politics is crazy sometimes, so you can never exclude crazy theories as well. Mm. You can't negotiate with Islamists. For these people, it's not about secular nationalism, as is the liberal status quo, but Muhammad and the Quran and religion and set false prophecies. Oh yeah, I think like it's not only Iran and like it's not really about their religion. I feel that some countries like they can't really have conversations. That the only language, even China too, China or Russia too, like you can kind of superficially have dialogues and so on, but the only language that they can speak actually is power. So you have to just fight, at the end of the day. And I think Trump knows. That's why sometimes he has to like launch missiles and so on. It's like, man, I would never try to fight America, I would only like work with you. It's so stupid to even think that like fighting America is a good idea. Any super chat? I would appreciate super chat. You're hitting some tough and sensitive subject today. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Drama queen. But she's often, I don't know, like, at least the very bold statements coming from her, which I usually think, like, oh, she's agitating a lot. Then later, it turns out that she was right. So I can't really criticize her. She just she has a unique, like, way of viewing the world. Like, she's really passionate, like enthusiastic and like in the zone, It's interesting how she is. Like I'm totally like a different type of person uh, when I compare myself with her. So like it's kind of hard to understand. Mm. Her heart is in the right place. She was only speculating about Instagram. Yeah, I think it's the journalist's kind of hunch, and yeah, I think what's important is that we have to leave what's like what's not a fact. Like when you don't know how things are, you just don't know, and you gotta be okay with that. You don't have to always decide what is this and that. Sometimes you gotta be okay with the fact that you don't know. So I often just leave the decisions or judgment out of the way. I don't judge things sometimes. Hmm. I wonder if she has ties to Mossad. Oh, interesting. Check out her post if you want. It's not that bad. Thank you for your super chat. Yeah, I follow her on X though. Yeah. Hmm. 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 Yeah. But yeah, Israel is kind of tricky. Like some countries are so good at like information warfare. I wish my country was good at that. At least we are changing though. Hmm. Off to bed. Oh no. Thanks for watching. Hope you sleep well. Come back next week. Hopefully I'll come online early. I prefer X, but 90% of my feed is Indian H1B stuff. Still, when I go on X, I sometimes like somehow see all these posts about like mothers complaining about their husband and so on. And it's endless. It's annoying. Like I don't care. But then, because I'm interested in psychology, how human psychology works, I guess I kind of get curious and read some of those, and then they keep showing like a recommending, oh, you might like this. It's so annoying. Israel is an ally because their tap water is safe to drink. Oh no. Japanese people, by the way, like our water is safe, but today it's becoming our culture to put filters in at the top to the top of water. Hmm. Have you heard anything about the movie at the Odyssey? 오데세の映画ってなんだっけ？オデッセイ I don't know. Odyssey movie at the Odyssey. What are you talking about? Mm. What else is in the newspaper? Let's see. I talked about the AI. Oh, on the first, front page, by the way, they're talking about this is Venezuela, the aftermath of the earthquake. So, dead people, the death toll, 4,100 people have died. That's so crazy. And they can't get rid of all the bricks and so on because they don't have enough manpower. That is horrible. Another topic that we are talking about on the front page is that warnings to the big shift from the paper textbooks. And this is a Norwegian education minister, Karinessa Nortun. And basically, Japan wanted to copy what the Europeans were doing, to install digital textbooks, but then it actually does no good for the educational level. It makes people stupid. So Europeans are now shifting back to paper, right? But Japan is slow. So, but I guess though in many places, I bet that it's like a hybrid, like both textbook, like paper textbook and digital ones. You see, there's Abe, Shinzo Abe, and Takaichi is here, very small. There was a ceremony, to commemorate Abe. We still haven't forgotten him, so it's really sad. If he was with us today, the world picture would have been so different. We should have changed from paper, really. I'm a I'm a believer of paper. I started to write a time log, for example, recently. Uh, to keep a record of what I did every day, like wake up at this hour and then I have breakfast at this time and blah blah blah. And keeping a record like that is making like doing a lot of good to my everyday life, because I can see how much time I actually have and how much I actually did, and then where I can do more and so on. And it's amazing. And also, like, writing is actually kind of healing, because that's what you did growing up, and that's how you input information in the past. So that's why I started to, just yesterday though, I was doing it a little bit before, and yesterday I was like, I need to like get back to that. Like there was this like need in my mentality, that like I want to study like how I was doing before, like when I was a teenager. So I grabbed a notebook and I started to. There are some tabs open on my phone showing the dictionary page, like the words that I didn't know. It's open, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, keep a note, like keep a record of that later. And I never did. And there are like dozens of tabs open, so I gotta do something about it. Yep. Abe senpai. Yes. Yeah. Paper all the way. I'm done for going back to plastic bags and straws. I have a straw here. Straw. Oh, you can't really see. Disappearing straw. Correct. Yes. I like straws, like regular plastic straws. Paper straws are nasty. It doesn't make sense. What's weird about Starbucks and so on, I don't know if they still do that, but like when they were pushing SDGs, they had like, let's say this is a coffee cup, right? And then they are like, let's say this is yeah, the cup is plastic and somehow the straw is paper, or the only lid part is plastic, and this being paper. And what are you doing, So stupid. Japanese people didn't like that. By the way, though, our who actually did that was my local politician that I'm good friends with. He retired, but when he was the minister, like environment minister, he had to install the system that basically to make us pay for plastic bags at grocery stores and so on. So now the users or customers or consumers have to pay for the plastic bags, while on the other hand, in the past, it was a cost for the stores, and now we have to, pay. Still, I usually use, like, I take my bags with me when I go shopping, like grocery shopping, and I don't use plastic bags at the stores. However, I do buy plastic bags because for the purpose of sorting out trash and garbage and so on. Like, I'm a Japanese person. I like to make sure that everything is organized, and also like it doesn't get attacked by crows and so on. And also I don't want our garbage to smell. So I put in a like a transparent garbage bag, and then I put the bag into another one to surround it, and then put multiple of that, and then make sure that the smell doesn't come out, or if any liquid doesn't come out. So I do it like that, and then put in the regular trash bag. A lot of plastic bag going on. Paper straw is communist. I agree. I agree. Whoever is pushing that is communist. Yeah. It's so crazy because like that's not where you should focus on, right? Like if I was an environmental activist, I will first work on the garbage and trash coming out of China and India, or even Mexico. I think that I've seen like pictures on a website before, like the trash and garbage in the world. Over here in Japan, you think that Japan is clean and so on. We are doing our best, at least that's where our heart is. But then we get lots of trash and garbage and so on from China and Korea. Like those trash swim the ocean and reach to Japan. We can tell because it's printed. Their letters, like their language, is printed on the plastic bag or whatever. And sometimes it actually comes from a ship or something. So I don't know why we're talking about stuff like that. Because developed countries can win, when we talk about stuff like that. That's their weak point. China is doing better than before, it seems, inside their country, but they don't care about what they give to the oceans and so on. Mm, 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 mm. What do you do with glue on paper, like for labels and drinks and package? Glue on paper? What do you mean? Put my snacks from the convenience. Put my snacks from the convenience into my backpack usually, so no plastic bag needed. Yeah. You're really good-hearted. Yeah. I do that too. Yeah. The act of writing is also way better than typing for memory. Yeah, for memory, definitely you gotta write. It's interesting because, like, in order to memorize things, you should use your fingers and, the five senses. And typing is one way of, like, touching the keyboard and, you use your muscle memory basically. But it's different, right? So interesting. But then I know only how to grow, like, I grew up with pen and paper only, so I don't know. Yeah. It's so crazy though when you think about it. Now today people are talking about whether the textbook should be paper based or digital based. But when I was growing up, what I was hearing from my teachers were that I cannot use mechanical pencils and I need to use the regular, like, traditional pencil. No mechanical one, because the pressure that you give to the pencil is important. How much have we changed? So crazy. You're falling asleep? Oh no! Sleep well. How do you separate that paper? Oh. When I recycle paper, I just give everything. glue glue is not counted when we recycle here. So they just melt it. They're obsessed here, but most waste pollution comes from China and third world countries. Yeah, so weird. Sometimes I watch like a historical, like documentaries about history, or just the TV people walking around in the neighborhood and digs into the history behind what's out today and so on. And it's interesting. Like yesterday, I was actually watching TV with my husband, and we were watching that our people from like 1600 or so, they built our city, and then they were talking about the sewerage. What's that word? Sewer. Um, what's the word? Or okay, this one, drainage canal. Drainage canal. Yeah, that's something that they built, right? And then all the basically like water flow, to use water or get rid of water. Like they built the system, and then I was like, wow, like hundreds of years ago, our people were already doing that. And today, when I think about some countries in the world, they still don't have that system. And I'm like, why? Like sometimes my country gives ODA, so-called ODA, like the financial aid to other countries together with our technology to build their infrastructure and so on. But I'm not trying to be a like a really sassy person. I just like genuinely question why we can be so different. It's so interesting. Maybe we are somewhat peaceful so that we can focus on culture, and in other countries they are desperate for survival because they're killing each other or something. I don't know. Except some Japanese people still dump their big screen TV in the countryside in Japan. I know. And pay for the high fees to have it disposed. Yeah. Like, and also like truck drivers, they throw away trash all the time. So it's probably all about education, don't you think? Like conservative people, here in Japan, conservative people are really patriotic and very proud of our race and culture and tradition, so that they think like, oh, Japanese people are wonderful, they say that, oh, Japanese, our culture is the best. We're perfect. Other countries are nothing like us and blah, blah, blah. They always have like a powerful speeches like that. But then I'm like, I've seen my own country in many different areas. I know many different kinds of people here in Japan. And I realize like those who are educated well, or have high educational backgrounds, they're, when it comes to stuff like this, they're okay. They have so-called common sense. But those who didn't have that sort of backgrounds, they don't have the sense to care. Yeah, at least so they are, at least they're, how they're like dressed and so on, or how they behave date on a daily basis, it's mostly clean, so there aren't many problems. But as for the trash and so on, of course, yeah. Cool new background, Yoko-san. Thank you. I don't remember how I got it. Probably from the internet. Guys, I'm waiting for super chat. Oh, I've been speaking for an hour and I'm not receiving much. Does that mean I should go? No. sewage pipe. I think that's what I wanted to say. Some like basic like infrastructure related words can be very difficult to remember. There's a guy here who has a fuel that is made from plastic. He demonstrated it working in the several vehicles. I'm assuming he has made it burn clean as well. Cool. Made from plastic, but plastics is made from oil though in the first place. Interesting. What we are seeing in Japan is that, you know, when we make French fries and so on, you use a lot of fries. I mean, the oil, right? But it's used and it's dirty. But in Japan, we started to collect those used oil for cooking and so on. We collect that and then somehow filter it and so on, so that they can be used for the like, for example, like planes for their fuel. And I'm like, wow, maybe other countries are doing it too. I think they are. But I'm like, I'm blown away by that technology. I watched a streamer react to a video of train ride in Congo, and it was so dirty and chaotic, but also people would just stand there doing nothing. Yeah, it's a culture, man, culture. Because, for example, at the World Cup of like the FIFA, the soccer game, Japanese supporters clean the stadium always. And then there are some other people from other countries now do the same. And it just spread as culture, you know? If a certain culture, like cleaning your place after you use it, becomes a cool thing, then others will imitate. Yeah. I wish it was like that. But Japanese people too, though, like after the World War II, by the way, this discussion happens often on X because, as I said, like right-wing people here in Japan, they tend to say like, oh, Japan has been always clean and so on. It's mostly the case, you know, like our people were always neat and so on, but not entirely, of course. Like we are now developed, but it has stages, right? And after the World War II, people here were desperate to rebuild our country, so they were working tirelessly, right? They're working 24/7, like literally. And in the trains, I hear that like there were lots of trash and garbage on the floor of train cars. People are there, but they just leave the trash on the floor so that the cleaning people can collect them later. And that was their culture at that time. Today, they just come collect it before you put that on the ground and so on. So like, the premises change, but yeah. Speaking of the third world, you are 8 times more likely to die from diarrheas in India than you are from gun violence. That's a crazy comparison. Who made that comparison? I mean, when I visited India in 2019, I did get sick. I had a high fever the entire time, and it was horrible. I thought I was gonna die like on my way back. Yeah. Like when we go to countries like that, you gotta get shots in beforehand, right? Like vaccination and so on. Shibuya has a lot of graffiti. Yeah. Only unclean place in Japan. It's the culture again. Like there are some people that think that it's cool, you know, but countryside though in Japan, like suburb area too, like when I go through the old tunnel, for example, I do see the graffiti that I grew up with, like all the spray can thing like that you would see in New York or something, for example. Like some people think like the like what's the not prank punks like that sort of things, right? Like a skater board type of people somehow like that sort of things. But yeah. Oh, you did a super chat? Oh, thank you. Don't go. Now I gotta stay. Thank you. But yeah, it's gonna get more and more expensive to make me not go. Thank you. I love when Yoko talks about India. She always trashes the place without meaning to. But I like India though. Like, I mean, I want to like India. When I was 11, I think I told you, but when I was 11, I had an Indian girl over. I didn't even know that girl, but it was some like children's Asian forum or something, Pacific forum. I don't even remember the official name, but it's a thing that like countries, kids from like India, Bangladesh, and all the other Asian countries come to Japan, and then we become host families, and they stay with us for a week, and then go back, and we interact internationally, exchange cultural things and so on. And so I had that experience, and also around that time I was introduced to the Indian cuisine, and I'm like, oh, this is tasty. I started to like it. And then I was into music. So I really digged like Bollywood music too. And when I was around like a late, like from a mid to late 20s, in my 20s, I was like, I was obsessed with Bollywood music, and I even covered a couple of songs and posted on YouTube too. Like I liked Indian things that much, and I would also go to Indian stores in Japan, and get some Indian goods because my like a like artistic type aspects of me is really close to Indian type. At least like back then, that's what I thought. So I really liked India until I went there in person. The drivers there are crazy too. They drive like, and when you get on a taxi there, at least like I can only speak about Dharamsala, where Tibetans are. There are Indians living there, but they're not in the center of India, so that's kind of speaks the background. But they're good people, and fun people. But it's just that whenever I got into the taxi, my husband and I, we felt like we are on a jet coaster, like roller coaster. And then like it's a steep, like they are living in a really high, like tall mountain, so the roads are really narrow, and then it's like the next to it is like a cliff, so you could like roll your car could like derail and like roll out down to the valley or something. So that was scary. Yeah, Osaka is 30. Yeah, I lived in Osaka. So, and whenever there is, or wherever there's a water, it can be dirty and smell bad. At least my area, Fukuoka, they are rebuilding this whole city. So like the center of our prefecture, they are rebuilding. So we are fortunate. if you have a little time, you will have less time to clean things. But those third world places have people just standing around loitering. Hmm. I think Japanese people started to be obsessed with hygienity, or we started to like being clean and so on because we had to, because of the what's the word? Not moisture, humidity. Humidity. Our country is so humid that all the bacteria and so on spread easily. So you gotta be clean. So, oh, super chat, thank you. I love your India stories. But I cried watching an Indian movie before, though. I think it was the like Indian movies, like Bollywood movies, are so long. Not nowadays, I guess it's like becoming shorter. I hear, but the one I watched was like I think 5 hours long or something. But it was a good story, and I saw with English subtitles, and I cried like hell. Like I cried so much. So at least like I have something in common with the Indian people, I think. But again, though, India is a big country, so there are like elite kind of people who understand the Western values, and there are others who don't, just like in any other countries. Hygiene, yeah. Why would I go to India when I can go to my local shopping center where there is a lot of Indians? Yeah, here too, there are some like places where I don't think it's Indians though. Like there are like lots of people from Bangladesh. It's kind of hard to tell, but I hear like there is this area, for example, in my prefecture, where there are lots of like Bangladesh people. So therefore, there is a Bangladesh restaurant. You can tell, like when you not Tokyo though, it's very diverse, but other places in Japan, like suburb area type of places, uh, you see the for example like Vietnamese place or Indian place or Bangladesh or even Uyghur and so on. Like if you see a certain food like restaurant, it's not always the case, but sometimes it reflects the local community. So especially when the taste is not adjusted to the local Japanese people, it means that there are a lot of people from their country. Where did it go? You don't need to come to India. Indians will come to you. But same for China though. The countries with big population, they will just come to you. There's like India is now growing, and they're even their technology is getting better too. So of course, like they're spreading to the world. But Chinese people in every like somewhat big country, in every country there is like a Chinatown, right? Like your country probably has like Chinese community place. So crazy, they're everywhere. Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, all the same to me. It's different for me because Sri Lanka, I cannot eat their curry. It's just hot and spicy. It's like, oh, and you don't taste anything. Pakistan, India, Bangladesh curry was really salty and I didn't like it. Pakistan and Indian curry, really good. Yeah. Is Islamism becoming a problem in Japan? I keep seeing posts on X about it. There are more people, like Muslim people, I guess, but generally speaking, but so are the other people from other regions and other backgrounds. And there are some, Muslim hating people in the world. So they just use Japan to get the views and to agitate and so on. I wouldn't, you know, care too much about it. If they start to, there are some activists here, though, I think, that like one or two, so it doesn't really matter, but like some people are agitating that, oh, they need to be buried when they died, they need to be buried underground or something like that. We are not going to do that. Let them do that. It would pollute our forests and so on. We are not going to do that. But so there are some problems like that. But as for foods too, like we are open to food culture mostly, but when they force us to change ourselves for them, then we get mad. So Japanese people are very tolerant and open, and we actually invite other cultures, and we just swallow them into ours. That's what we do. And so that actually gives the wrong message to some people in the world, and they think that we are open to anything, right? But then we have this unwritten rules in our culture. When you start to force a change in us, we flip. Oh, like you don't want to make us angry. We are like, "Rah!" we will come at you. Anyway, no more super chat. Dude, I cannot live anymore without super chat. Does that mean I have to come every day? Because last month I did well. I came online a lot. This month has been slow for me. Like I'm doing a lot, and I cannot always come to social media, which sucks. But yeah, I'm catching a cold, by the way. uh, I already took a medicine so that like it's an Eastern medicine, so it basically prevents you from catching a cold because it creates a good cycle before it reaches you. I hope it's working. But my husband got cold out of the air conditioner. I was okay for a few days, but now he's still coughing and so on, and it's getting to me. Oh, super chat! Thank you, here for you, Yoko. Oh, thank you so much. Now I can feel a little relieved. Thank you. It's still hard to read your name though. Chapar, is it Chapara? Chaparral or Chaparral? Melia. Thank you so much. I'm already getting a cold from Mia. Thanks a lot. Is that possible? Take garlic in the morning and at night. Gladly. I love garlic. I don't care if people can smell me. I love garlic. But you gotta make sure that it's the right amount, or else like your stomach will run because it kills all the good things and bad things in your gut. But that's a good point though. I should kill the bad things, right? Garlic it is. I have a tube thing, it's not raw, but like a pre-made one. I don't have real ones in the fridge, but at least I can have that. Super chat, patriotic guest out. Thank you so much for saving this stream. My husband went go. So did I. I should become like dun dun dun. Do you know that meme of Fraley dog? It's an old meme. Like a little animal. Dun, dun, dun. Every time I receive a big super chat, I'm like, call the medicine tax. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now I can take the medicine more. I think I'm gonna try that for a few days. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. This is my happy dance. Yes. I'm just showing the super chat to brag. Like, here, I received super chat, like pink super chat. So the people, who sees this as a recommendation page of YouTube can say like, oh, this chick was pink super chat. Anyway, thank you so much. Petra to the rescue again. Yes, always. Thank you. Take olive oil with it to protect your stomach. Ooh, interesting. I have olive oil. I thought it was the Godzilla sound. My husband did like, I couldn't tell if it was a sneeze or a cough. It was a mixture. I don't know why, but men, including my husband, coughs and sneezes really, really loud. Why? It's like, or like, why do men do that? When I sneeze, I'm like, right? And when I cough, I'm like, my husband is like, and like so much. Maybe they're training their muscles or something. There was a time that my husband, there's some bad people in the countryside, the countryside people, man. I have prejudice because there are some bad people and they will punch you like physically when they're mad because they don't know how to verbalize what they're thinking logically. So then one guy, who's a political friend, hit my husband and then he broke his rib, right? And then he he caught a cold. I mean to laugh about it, but his bone, was broken, but he caught a cold. So he's like, it hurts, it hurts. Pain, pain. He was so busy. I was like, it was the election time. I was sitting in the office, right, to help my husband. At the time, just an activist friend, but my husband would come back, right? I could hear him. He's like, it was so funny. Sometimes men need to punch each other. Things will be fun after, like dogs and cats. Is to get it out. And because we are men. Japan's ATLA is developing its own ballistic missile submarine. If anything, at least China gives Japan a precedent and an excuse to strengthen. That's a good point. Yes. And what's interesting though is that Chinese people, like CCP trolls, I don't know if they're intentionally ignoring it or they don't have the information, but they think like one of them actually reached out to me and said that like, oh, why is it only China that you blame? Like other countries are doing it, and only when it comes to China you blame us and blah blah blah. But I'm like, don't you see what your country is doing? But it's so true because today the world, like Western world, knows what we are going through, and Taiwanese people too, what we are going through. The China's expansion is so obvious that other countries can see, and they are on the same side with us. So that's really great. Yeah, it's a good point. Mm, 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 mm. I have the German translation of some British radio drama series from the 50s, like Paul Temple Detective. Oh. Sometimes men need to punch each other. Oh, I had read that. Heard that Diet is going to finish the legislative session soon, but can they pass the eliminations of 45 seats before the session ends? Ishin wants to do that. Mm-hmm. Oh, but I think they are having like a party leader session too, by the way. Like, it's interesting because it's gonna be long. In today is 12. It's set on the 15th, and party leaders, you know. So basically, Takaichi against all the other opposition parties will have have a debate in the Diet in the parliament. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I gotta watch that. By the way, this advertisement is so cute. Rah. I wanna pet him. So cute. Cartier. Newspaper advertisement. Why is it called a diet? It makes want to eat sushi. I hate diets. I have no idea. なんでダイエットって言うんだろうね。うん。Yeah, my husband and I, we don't like that expression. So I was just translating and saying like national diet for our parliament, but then I started to rather just say parliament because that probably like people understand better. Because we're, huh? Yeah, my husband only writes in parliament. I usually write like national diet and then parliament. But our system is, when our people made our system, I bet that they learned from the UK back then. So, I am meant to get paid a salary. Really? Have you seen Dogen's video about Sanseto using more katakana English than Japanese despite being anti-globalization? Even more because they're like a Japan first thing was already like they put first in katakana, so basically English. And I was pointing that out that that's wrong. But yeah, I should watch that. That would be very fun to watch. That guy is really fun. So. The prairie dog from a mini money video. Yes. National diet sounds like the national food pyramid. Funny. But okay, did I cover all the news? Because yeah, I like chatting normal things, but I don't know. Like I feel like I should give like political things too. Oh, it was so funny. I gotta share the story about NATO. Did you hear about this? NATO, the Turkish president, Erdogan. I don't know the pronunciation. Erdogan. He gave a gun to every single leader who was at the NATO meeting. And then it had 6 bullets. I guess it's a revolver kind of gun. So crazy. And Germany and Netherlands leader couldn't take them back because it's against the rules. And then von der Leyen, she will change it into the state that nobody can actually use it, and then give it to contribute it to the museum. And Carney said that after receiving the gun, Carney said that, oh, my gift was a little less, because he gave him maple syrup gun, a gun with bullets versus maple syrup. That's so silly. Did Takaichi refuse the gun? I don't think she was there. Was she there? Huh? Yeah, she didn't go because of our parliament. And that's something that we are discussing, though, that our prime minister is that position. Prime ministers are banned by our parliament too much. When you compare with other countries, like we are like bound too much, so that's very inefficient, because opposition parties just want to drag them down and ask stupid questions instead of actually talking about the budget and so on, because usually they do it at the budget committee, just because there are cameras and it gets aired on TV. The Japanese get hungry when they see NATO and think it's NATO. Actually, there was an ex post which says like, oh, America goes into NATO. That's what like a invades into NATO. That's what we thought, but it was actually rice going into the NATO. Because of our writing, like America is rice country, so when we write in Japanese, rice rice goes into NATO. Or no, I think, or I don't know exactly remember the sentence, but it was like when you write like kuchi, like mouth in Japanese, in kanji, like a complicated character, it's the same as when we like, it looks like almost the same as when we write Russia in abbreviation. So Russia and mouth looking the same. So in that post, it was mingled as well, that like America was rice and Russia was mouth and NATO was NATO, and we got confused. Hi, Yoko, and so on. Hello, thanks for coming. I'm late for the Yoko Evening News of the Yoko News Network. Thank you. Yeah, this looks like that, right? Today's Yoko News Network. By the way, when I watch NHK, our like national public broadcasting thing here, we often have like ABC News, just because they are probably like partnered with NHK. And I often, whenever like Trump related news comes on, often, like I hear like "Bah, bah, bah." This is ABC News, I hear that. I'm used to the sound now. Like, oh, ABC News, okay. Pour Elon Musk has developed launching platforms to permanently launch satellites every 60 minutes. What? What are we going to do with that many satellites? To accurately capture the location and so on? Or why is it 4? But Japan, by the way, where did we do that? But like we are developing our technology to do the same as SpaceX, and we were just testing that the rocket is launched and then hovers for a little bit and then comes back down on the land. And I saw the successful test footage. So hopefully, but the SpaceX one though, it's like comes back and it kind of like the direction was a little different, but yeah. But we are having like a good start, I think. North North Pacific Treaty Organization, U.S., Canada, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan alliance. Yeah, that sounds nice. Any fun crime in Japan today? Not much. Like, oh, the other day though, like we heard the news that like a two obasan, like aunties, two old, kind of old ladies living together, and one, what's the saw the mouth of the other woman or something like that. It's so weird, but then we don't care because it's basically a bully and it's some mental disease kind of thing. So sometimes weird things happen in Japan. It is kind of bad. They just copy American news and even pay for it. I don't know. But we don't have budget though. If only we had budget, we would put like our correspondents and have a branch officially. Like NHK has it, but like we can't cover everything. So sewing machine. So man, the basic English is so difficult. Japan doesn't seem like a place with teen takeovers and smash and grabs. I don't know the first one, teen takeovers. Smash and grabs is like smash and then take out the jewelry or something. That happens though. The latter happens in Japan nowadays because the economy is okay, but like our everyday life is hard with high prices, and the young kids somehow sign up for crime-based jobs. Like it's like a pyramid, and the top of the people gives order. And they don't get their hands dirty. They just use teenagers with showing that they can give them money, like good money. So they sometimes attack like a jewelry store and smash the glass case and so on and take out whatever they can. Teen takeovers when teenagers arrive to places in large crowds and cause chaos. What? That is interesting. That's a good that would let you practice well though for terrorism. That's how terrorism works. Maybe they're communists and practicing terrorism. That's interesting. I should be familiar. Like I should learn about that and tell our people, because what happens in other countries could happen here. There are always like the majority of Japanese people are good people and we live really well together, but there are some people that just want to copy other countries. And they some just hope to copy the good side of other countries, but others, of course, are not good. So Mm, 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 mm. So sad news that they found a couple decomposing in Japan at their house. Oh no, that is so sad. One of my relatives too. He was living alone, and he died alone, and so he was kind of going bad, and I couldn't meet him at the end. So like he lived in another prefecture. So I'm sad. In America, those teen takeovers are really white or Asian. Oh, really? That kind. I see. Communism is theft. Good point. Crazy part about communists is that they think that other people being happy is like, they are stealing from you. It has nothing to do with you, and they somehow feel that they are the victims. They have some kind of mental problem, probably. There are a bunch of video of teens assaulting or stealing stuff in mobs so that it's hard to catch them in these large groups. Ah, I see. I see how it works now. Uh, that's sad. Because what's fun about it, like, of course, like when you can't buy what you want to buy and so on, it's sad. It feels uncomfortable, and you start to blame yourself and so on. But because it's hard when you actually earn money and you can finally buy what you wanted to buy and so on, it makes you feel really proud, and all the good feelings comes with it, and you goes to the next level in life. And it's amazing, but they choose to go to that criminal way, and I wonder what differentiates them from other kinds of people. It's the environment, though, probably. Like, I really feel bad for like black people and so on, the minorities, uh, or those who were, I don't know, those who with victimhood mentality. When they're imprinted with that, they have a misbelief that they're not capable of doing things even after Obama. Isn't that crazy that the same race of person became the president, and still they don't believe in themselves to freely live in the right way in their own country? Maybe they came from other countries. I don't know. The Japanese Communist Party desperately want to enable foreign residents who aren't citizens to be able to vote, which is predictable. They want Chinese residents in Zainichi to boost their vote. I don't know how they are wired, but oh yeah, we were talking about that earlier. So it was probably cancer. Who was the killer? Yeah. What's difficult about things like this is that we are not gonna see the body of him and so on, or the actual autopsy or something, right? Maybe it will be released because it's under Trump, but you know how Kim Jong-un's brother died in some other country out of poison? Like some chick had a glove and then had some chemical and just touched him a little bit and he died. Like it's so easy to kill and so on. It's so scary. I gotta be careful myself because China recently, like they have so many laws, but the newest one came out on July. Was it July 1st? like very recently. And basically those who are working against China, even outside of China, can now get arrested or something like that, because it's the unity that they want. And whoever wants to separate the country, like me, like I support the independence of Tibet, Uyghurs, and Mongolia, Hong Kong, and whoever claims stuff like that and acts like that get caught, and it is scary because when you think about common sense and a legal framework, it shouldn't be available like that. Like it's against the rule, to try to work internationally in that way. It's wrong, but they don't care, and they just want to pretend that they are following their own rules. That's why they create all the legal frameworks, which is not legal. But then they want to say that, oh, everything is under our system, and then do all the illegal activities. So I really need to be careful, even here in Japan. They had police stations in the entire world, right? Like about, was it like 100 or 200? I don't remember the number, but in my country, in Fukuoka and Tokyo, there are like police stations of China. And the Tokyo one got raided, I think. I don't know what happened to the Fukuoka one. So I gotta be careful. And now Russia doesn't like us either. So, yeah. But it's interesting though, because it's scary, that's one aspect. But another aspect is that that's how much they are scared, right? Xi Jinping and Putin, they are really, really scared. So that of like assassinations and like destabilization of their country and so on. Like they're wanting to keep sitting in the seat, right? So they cannot tolerate any any possibility of terrorism and so on, and that's why they're really alert and making sure that they don't get attacked and so on. I'm hungry. My husband is making something. I wonder what that is. My husband said this is mine. He's cooking something, and the poisoning assassination is crazy. Yeah. Japan has freedom of speech. We do, but like for example, this former Sankei reporter, Yaita, Mr. Yaita, I think he was stationed, or is that the word? Like he was in Taiwan, I think, and he speaks Mandarin, maybe, I think. And he was giving a lecture recently, like a few days ago. He gave a lecture in Taiwan, and then some Chinese guy attacked him, and he bled. Like he was punched, and then his teeth are kind of like shaky. What's the word? Like it doesn't. They're not stable because of the damage and so on. And similar things actually happened to our Hong Konger friend. We don't talk to him anymore, but back then, like he told us that when he went to attend a event in Taiwan, like likewise to this case, he got attacked by Chinese guys too, like physically. And so that's what they do sometimes. Like Taiwan is a little different from other countries, I guess. Like China has easier access to Taiwan, but still, like that's still like another country. And Japan too. Like we are another country, but China is there. Like w- it's said that often, like, we make fun of ourselves that Japan is the heaven for spies, like espionage, because we don't catch them. We don't even have like anti-espionage law. So there are a lot to work on. You don't need to be careful. The foreign Chinese police stations target Chinese living abroad. They really target actual nationals of the country. I hope that's the case. Yeah. In that sense, though, I gotta protect our Chinese friends, though. Hmm. And there are like Tibetans, Uyghurs, and Southern Mongolians, and even Hong Kongers living here as well, doing political activities. So we gotta make sure that they don't get caught or anything. He's eating cereal. Yes, he be bad. Cereal. I like oatmeal, by the way. Udon. Udon is nice. No more super chats. Ah, hello. Oh, lose. Yes, lose. Man, it's frustrating because when I hear or see English sentences, I can understand most of the time. But when I try to form a sentence, I'm like, I need to. I was thinking when I was like younger, like I need to live in the US for a little while to master English, completely. But then I'm 40 now. When am I gonna go? Right? So life is short, guys. If you're young, just do everything when you think about it. It's about trying to control their own people while they are abroad. They threaten their families back in China. Yeah, they do that and use them as a leverage against them. And this is how they force them to return. Yeah. What's interesting is that my husband's event was used to threaten them too. One time, this Uyghur friend that we have here in Japan, he was threatened by CCP agent because the CCP agent went to the home of his brother in Uyghur, and they were they video called him, and then the question that they asked was, who's the organizer of this event? And he was asking that there's a footage of that because our friend was smart enough to use another phone to capture everything. But the CCP agent was asking, who's the organizer of this event? And then it's actually my husband. It was my husband. I feel really bad for that. But it's not really about the information, though. They already know that my husband was the organizer. I guess that they wanted to form power dynamics that the CCP agent gets to make the Uyghur guy listen to him. So, yeah. Sometimes we hear stories that sometimes CCP pressures the ethnic people here to, like, they pressure them not to participate political events. If they listen, then they get rewarded with like a lot of money, as much as like you can buy a car level of money, like so much money. Or the sanctions back home get lifted and so on, where their families live. I don't like CCP, but I am kind of impressed by their tactic, like what they comes out with as tactics. Like, I'm like, how did you come up with that? Design is working hard, but you have not been banned by another country other than Russia, so you need to work harder. Yeah, my husband got on the blacklist in Hong Kong. Yeah, and both of us are banned from Russia, like banned from Russia. Like we cannot enter Russia. But yeah, but they probably know though, like China, that behind my husband there's me. But yeah, it's because yeah. But soon, I don't think that my husband will really need me in that sense. Like I'm still his partner, but like there's AI, English translation, and everything. They'll do it for us. But I guess we always talk about negative things about AI. Even like AI accounts. There are accounts from China and Russia trying to brainwash us on X and other social media platforms, but we can do things too to them. We can translate our information in other languages and you know spread in other countries. Mhm. And why? Oh, I'm getting sleepy for you. Life is short. The Bible says that days are evil. Days are evil. Why? Life is definitely short. Yeah. You're 32. Oh, life gets fun around that age. Uh, I wish I was more active in my 30s. I was, but like now I look back, I'm like, hmm. I feel like I was wasting my time. Don't forget, in India, they are also trying to brainwash people on X. Are they? In what way? Because what benefits them? Oh, but there was this Indian account that I saw that was pretending to be a sexy MAGA female trying to sell like a photo book or something. I think he was Indian, but maybe they're all about money instead of like political agenda. It says that the days are evil, meaning there's a lot of evil in the world today, not the days are literally evil. I see. A lot of evil in the world. Interesting. Days in and not days in and of themselves is not what it was saying. Yeah. Hmm. I recently finished uh Young Sheldon. And it had a lot of like church scenes and it was so interesting. I think it's nice that Americans have churches because here, like, we were going to shrines and temples, especially temples were like where we would get together and so on. But today we don't have that community anymore. I wish that there was somewhere to go, when we are like in trouble or something. Like instead of just like a particular friends and so on, if there's just community there, that would be great. So like you guys are actually more gifted or blessed than you think, probably, because you're still the number one like biggest country in the world, and then you have Christian values still, and you have churches, even though it gets targeted sometimes. um yeah, and there are some like even women today, like there are some of them are turning into traditional wives, re-evaluating the values in America and so on. And people are still seeking after American dreams. And some people come from other countries too to be a great citizen in the US. And yeah. Hmm. Anyway. I hate Hollywood. At least though, like Hollywood movies, it has a lot of negative things, but at the same time they're still American, so American values are exported to other countries, and it is so well made, as for graphics and like shooting skills and so on, and actors and actresses are beautiful. So like, when, at least like from my perspective, like when I watch Hollywood stuff, I'm like, wow, America, like before my preference about America, it's like, wow, I get blown away. So yeah, it's not all bad. And we don't, the majority of the people in the world, at least like my type of people, they don't care too much about the domestic politics. So America is still America. Mm. We just connect the dots of the good things. So you shouldn't worry too much. A lot of MAGA accounts are Indians. They must be running pro sunset actions accounts like Samurai Voice. Ah, I see, I see, I see. Hmm. Pro sunset accounts. It's so annoying, right? When they meddle in. American dream isn't real. That's why they call it a dream. Don't say that. No, don't break the dreams. No, I see a lot of examples on YouTube, at least. Like people, like, for example, do you know Ed Milet? I like that dude. He's like very soft but very hardworking, great listener. But he grew up in a really difficult household, and his dad was drinking a lot and everything, and yeah, really tough childhood. But then he's super rich today, and then he gets to talk to all the amazing people, like leader level people in each genre, and has a podcast show and so on. And it's like amazing. Like nobody can stop you, if you want to achieve stuff like that. Over here in Japan, that's not the case. We have legal restrictions sometimes, like our rules are really strict, and also our cultural pressure, like if you stand out, people will bash you. So you know I just saw live action Moana. It was wholesome and not woke. Oh, cool. Hmm. The American dream is that if you work hard, you can succeed. Yeah. You and your husband are married. You didn't need. I don't know. What's interesting about us is that we're both patriots, but we love other countries, other cultures and so on. My husband is more like the UK guy. I love America. So like, it's not completely the same, and that's why I think it's kind of fun, because our worlds, like our views are overlapping mostly, but not entirely. So that's a great balance. Yeah. But yeah, growing up, I already liked America, so I consumed a lot of American content, whether it's movies or music or whatever. And but then I started to get interested in politics, and then I started to regain my pride, right, as a Japanese person in Japan. Like I became patriotic, and then I started to see America differently, right? And politically too, I started to learn a lot of things, how America is structured and so on, what kind of debates you have inside and everything. Like I knew of, like, you have a lot of debates, political debates, but I didn't really understand the background. Today I do, and the same things are there. And I used to think I used to look at them, but I didn't get it. But today I get it, and so it's the second time that I'm embracing America. It's really great. What American movies are playing in Japan right now? I just saw Godzilla Minus Zero movie trailer. It comes out in America in November. Oh, you still haven't seen that one? Oh, interesting. Right now, I missed the Mario movies, so I was sad. The Galaxy one or something. Yeah. I don't even know. ね、最近アメリカの映画ってなんか合ってるかね。Avatar, yes. And we missed Avatar too. Star Wars spin-off. Yeah, Star Wars, but not Star Wars. It's a TV show version, and it's a movie, and it ended quickly, right? すぐ終わったよね。Because it's not popular. The real Star Wars is huge here, but not that Disney kind of thing. I don't even know if it's Disney, but anyway, you guys are quiet, and I should probably eat something. I'm super duper hungry. Shoo. Yes. I'm sleepy for you. Oh, Toy Story. Right. Oh, Michael Jackson. Right. Now I remember. Yes. The kind of movies that my husband and I go see are like a Jurassic World kind of thing, or some cool action things, or like technologies, like great works with technology like Avatar and so on. The Galaxy movie was not great unless you're a huge Mario fan. I really enjoyed the first one though. Like Mario is just cute, so cute. Anyway, I think I should go, guys. I've been talking for 2 hours. Yes. I'm sleepy. I'm catching a cold a little bit, so I should probably rest my throat. If you're looking for cute, funny, and good action, you probably like it. But it's over though here, so I did predictions. Hopefully, the party leader debates in the parliament will be fun and productive. Yeah, it'll be entertaining, definitely. But I hope it will be productive and good for our country. 2 hours is with the Yoko is perfect. See you later. Thank you. Yes, you got to hang out with me a lot. Thank you. Take care, Yoko, Hide, and Cha. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, even though it's pretty late for a lot of you. And for your, watch time really matters. So thank you. And for your super chat, thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh yeah, garlic. I almost forgot. Thanks for your reminding me. Yeah, cool. I'm definitely having some right after this. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Let's if I'm feeling okay, I want to come online during the week. So I might pop up Okay. おやすみなさい. Great Japanese. おやすみなさい. It's nighttime there now, similar time to when it's night here in Australia. Oh yeah. Oh, you're in Australia. I want to visit Australia one day. Yeah. 良い一日をありがとう. Thank you. Good night. ひよかやひで. Thank you. Next week. See you next week. Thanks again. Bye. おやすみ. Good night.